Hello there! Ever tried to dig deep to get the message behind the ink of the word? Well then, welcome to our Bible study series. I am Bisola and this is Devotional Diaries.
I believe in God our Father, I believe in Christ the Son, I believe in the Holy Spirit, our God is three in one. I believe in the resurrection, that we will rise again, for I believe in the name of Jesus.
Hello, welcome back to Devotional Diaries. Today we are studying Romans chapter 4 and we are reading from verse 9 to 12. So let's go together. Now, is the blessing only for the Jews, or is it also for uncircumcised Gentiles? Well, we have been saying that Abraham was counted as righteous by God because of his faith. But how did this happen? Was he counted as righteous only after he was circumcised? Or was it before he was circumcised? Clearly, God accepted Abraham before he was circumcised. Oh, let's stop here briefly. You see, we've been saying that Abraham is the father of many nations. Abraham is the father of the Christian faith. The simple reason was because of his faith. It wasn't because he did anything special. It wasn't because he gave the best burnt offerings. It wasn't because he was circumcised. The reason why Abraham can be called the father of faith was because of his own faith. Paul asked the question that was Abraham counted as righteous after he was circumcised, or was it before he was circumcised? And Paul himself answers the question. He says, clearly God accepted Abraham before he was even circumcised. So you see here that circumcision was not a criteria for Abraham's righteousness. And that is the same way there is no criteria for us to be declared as righteous other than faith, just like Abraham. Moving forward to verse 11. Circumcision was a sign that Abraham already had faith and that God had already accepted him. Circumcision was already a sign that Abraham had faith and that God had already accepted him and declared him to be righteous even before he was circumcised. So circumcision was a sign. Circumcision was a symbol. Circumcision was a representation of what was already done. Circumcision was not a criteria. It was a sign that Abraham already had faith and that God had already accepted him and declared him righteous. So Abraham is the spiritual father. I'm reading now continuing from verse 11. So Abraham is the spiritual father of those who have faith but have not been circumcised. So you may have faith but you have not been circumcised. As long as you have that faith, whether you have been circumcised or not, Abraham is your father. Still reading in verse 11, it says, they are counted as righteous because of their faith. Now in verse 12, it says that Abraham is also the spiritual father of those who have been circumcised, but only if they have the same kind of faith Abraham had before he was circumcised. I would like us to go back briefly to the first place that talked about circumcision here in the book of Romans, and we have treated it. So it's in Romans chapter 2 from verse 25 to 29. Let's read from verse 28 to 29 of Romans chapter 2. It says that, "For you are not a true Jew just because you were born of Jewish parents or because you have gone through the ceremony of circumcision. No, a true Jew is one whose heart is right with God. And true circumcision," this is where I want us to hold on to, true circumcision is not merely obeying the letter of the law. Rather, it is a change of heart produced by God's Spirit. So, can we see the interconnectedness here? From our current chapter, which is chapter 4, Romans chapter 4, from verse 9 to 12, we see that circumcision is simply a sign that you already have faith. Now, going back to Romans chapter 2, verse 29, we also see here that true circumcision is not merely obeying the letter of the law. Rather, it is a change of heart produced by God's Spirit. So, you already have faith first. And then this circumcision is now a sign, or you can say it is now a change of heart, or it's just showing you that this person has had faith already. And so this faith has caused a change of heart as a result of God's Spirit. So circumcision from the beginning was not really about the physical benefits, the physical outcome of circumcision. So from the beginning, the purpose of the circumcision was just to show that this person already has faith in me. Okay, so this is just a sign. This is just proof that because of their faith in me, there is a change of heart that has been produced. Circumcision is a change now. It is a becoming, a wearing away of the flesh to reveal the new thing, right? So this is just explaining everything, right? So yeah, this is where we are going to stop today, and we're going to continue in Romans chapter 4 in our next episode. Thank you for staying with me today, and thank you so much for tuning into this episode of our Bible study series. I sure do hope you were blessed by it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to this channel on whatever platform that you subscribe to podcasts. Be sure to leave a 5-star rating if you feel so inclined. Bye!